Before the terrorists would come,
there should be a form of intelligence.
The Nigerian military would come and disarm local population first. Yeah. They would disarm the local population.
Oh, not true.
Before what my friends in the Middle Belt have told me is that they have learned that once the military come around searching house to house to disarm local populace, even take their dang guns, they know that the Fulanis are not coming behind. That is the level of complicity that you have.
So, well, then I've been vindicated.
It's not just you. Somebody came to national TV, Commodore Laumi. You don't see spooks, military spooks, you don't have spies, you don't see them in daytime. That's not somebody you find on national TV. But the man was sufficiently alarmed by our security circumstances that he sat down in the TV channel, at the TV station of channels, and he said it on national TV that there are Boko Haram sponsors sat in the president's cabinet, and he had submitted a list of these persons to the president since 2016 and nothing had happened. And we are still talking about a suspicion. It's no longer suspicion. Kawu Baraje came out in 2022, I think. It was his 70th birthday, and he came out and he told everybody who cared to listen that they were the ones who imported Fulani terrorists into Nigeria in the lead up to the 2015 election, and that they harmed these persons that they had brought into Nigeria from 5 different Sahelian countries. He said so. He's on record. Look, my friend Dr. Stanley Kavram is the National Publicity Secretary of the Middle Belt Forum. He was, I think, on Arise the other day, where he said categorically, and he wasn't the first to say it, that there is a base, a militant base, terrorist base in the tri-state area, Nasarawa, Benue, and Plateau. That base is known to each and every one of our security services. That base is sometimes reinforced and resupplied by helicopters
in this country,
and nothing has ever happened.
I don't know why.
So we're no longer. Don't let's be talking about. It's no longer about suspicion. It's not a theory.
It's not
the fact. We should be able to call it what it is. The fact is that the Nigerian state has turned against its own citizen and is facilitating murder.
Right.
All right. So
Nigeria supposedly became independent in 1960. This year makes it 65 years since Nigeria has been independent.
Then we are old.
Now, in all that time, there have been one strident call to blame the colonialists or the other, and they should be blamed, because even our foundational problems are traceable to their deeds.
The system
they have left without leaving. Right? But I am big on self-responsibility. We need to come to a point where we take responsibility for our own actions. We cannot continue to point fingers at the West. We are the ones responsible for this. If we don't take responsibility, even though, like I said, the process of decolonization is a long one. It will take generations. In fact, I'm not even sure it's possible to decolonize our minds.
I agree.
I think it is.
Well, we can have that conversation some other time. But when you consider the fact that the African has lost his sense of original spirituality, he has become religiously vacuous, cacophonous without content.
We don't divide in our own origin. We demonize our own spirituality. Yes.
Look, if you, I think it's Acts of Apostle chapter 17 verse 23.
There we go. There we go.
He says, as I walked through your city, I came to a monument, and on it was written, to the unknown God. No, when you get to a point where the man was going around the city, he could acknowledge the fact that they knew God before he brought Christ. And he went further to tell them that God whom you did not know is the one I have come to reveal to you. But he came to Africa and they wanted tabula rasa. They don't believe that we had any spirituality worthy of conservation. Everything had to be demonized. Ekwensu became Satan. Eshu became Satan. Eshu became Satan. Every time the Christians are attacking one grove or the other, or the Muslims will go and attract that grove. So we have become a people who reflexively demonize our own spirituality. The African will come across a mighty tree and he will bow in awe of the God who has created the tree, not the tree itself.
Yes, true.
But that is flowing from a place of connection with his environment. But what do you have now? Vacuously religious.
Fair point.
They will come to a tree. Somebody has tied a white cloth around the tree just to reference the tree, save it from being cut down. It's a form of conservation.
This is interesting.
So when you are done decolonizing the mind, you can then begin to talk about decolonizing the space. So I don't know how many generations it might take, and it has to be a deliberate and intentional thing. How do you do that with all these ones that are busy buying jets on account of the name of Christ?
So on that, American independence from the Brits, exactly why I pointed and referenced that it could happen, but eventually for it to happen, there is also the place of the IMF, the ICJ, and those guys, World Bank.
Those ones are set up to do what they are doing.
Basically, and that is what you call neocolonialism and imperialism. Because these guys,
but you call it that,
do not have
control over
our own resources or minds, and control it for us.
You call it that.
Media is the mind of society, and if media remains in the hands of those who drive propaganda, then our minds are in their hands, basically.
Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Me and you call it neocolonialism. We know it for what it is. We call it all kinds of.
We call it whatever it is.
We know it for what it is. But what have we ever done about it?
We have to look inwards then. And
how do you look inward?
Draw the lines.
There you are going.
But to draw the lines
until you have drawn the line and gain control of your political space, you cannot change any one of these things. The people who govern us are not unaware of the fact of the existence of these different neo-colonial constructs, but they benefit from the existence of those things. And because they benefit from the existence of those things, they are not going to cut it short.
Bangladesh, Arab Spring, and individual focus to political evolution.
Sorry, let's take it this way. Yes. Bangladesh, what does the Bangladeshi God look like?
The Bangladeshi God? I'm unaware of that.
They are Hindus now. If they are not Hindus, they'll be Muslim. If they are not,
basically,
it looks like them.
Yeah, it looks like them basically.
What's that one again?
Which one of them?
Which they are talking about?
I was talking about Arab Spring.
Okay, the Arabs.
Yeah.
Who do their God look like?
Basically, we all know what it is.
I assure you.
What do they look like?
I assure you. By the time your religious leaders are done telling you why you should obey your rulers, all the revolutionary fervor that you, the revolutionary, had built in the people. By the time the pastor is done giving them multiple verses in the Bible, and then the imam comes with his own verses and ayah from the Quran, how you should never quarrel with your rulers, you just find that you who was busy vibrating just now for revolution, they'll just look at you like you're the madman.
Anyways,